We're going to talk about the appendix draw, and I'm going to give you guys my stuff, my keys, my index points, my little cues to get your head wrapped around a few things and get you slick. What I like to talk about is slickness. Slick meaning fast and fluid. Just like boxing, stiff, tight, robotic shit isn't going to yield the best results. Slick, fluid, loose movements are going to get you off a lot faster and do real work. So same thing with our appendix draw. We need to be slick, okay? We need to round off all the edges. We need to melt together all the steps. One nice fluid step. So I'll give you a bunch of 9-10 little cues to get that. So this isn't gospel, it's just experimentation, playing with things, seeing what works for you. First things first, for beginners, intermediates, people that are trying to get this slickness and gain this slickness, I like to start from the hands up. I like to always preach to start from the hands up. Why? First of all, you can draw from hands down if you can draw from hands up. When your hands up, there's much more likelihood of something going wrong. There's more space to travel, there's more time to do things. You know, you got to be pretty slick to go from hands up and still be hitting, right? And still be hitting good times. So other than that, I think it's actually helps the fluidity of motion side of the house. And what I want you to start thinking about in your draw is making a circular motion out of it, a semicircle. So your draw should go down to your holster, your hands, and then all of a sudden circle back out. So if you watch, I want you to see that circle. Okay? I'm making a nice little semicircle. Get that fluidity, right? So think circular motion, okay? Second thing is our gun hand. As soon as we decide to draw, our gun hand's going to need to make some kind of finger gun. Figure out your way to do it. I like to just throw a finger gun up like this and clasp my fingers like this and tighten it, right? So when I go down there to snatch my gun, I'm moving things out of the way. If things aren't perfectly aligned, if I'm not perfectly on the money, I don't care. I'm going down, I'm getting it. I am moving things out of the way. I'm stiffening this up. I'm not stiffening it up too much, but it's nice and rigid. When I snap down on my gun, I'm snapping down on there. Then we'll talk about the actual grip on the pistol itself. You can go full claw grip, or you can go thumbs up. I don't really recommend trying to dig your thumb down all the way behind. I just use a thumbs up. So this right here is how I grip the pistol. Now what's great about this is that I can grip my pistol clear up around like this, whereas I can't shoot like that, but I force my hand down around there by giving it a nice squeeze as soon as I start plucking that gun out of the holster. And that's another thing to think about. We don't just grab the gun and pull it out of the holster. We pluck it like a feather. As I'm doing that, I am grinding that meat, that fat of my hand, grinding it down around there. So now I got a couple things. I got a hell of a good grip on the pistol way up high, and I'm plucking it out of the holster like a madman. I'm getting it out of there, okay? So now we got this done. We got our circular motion going on, and we got plucking it out of the holster. Let's talk about what the Garmin hand's doing. I like Scott stuff. You know where your belly button's at. Smack your belly button. Grab a handful of t-shirt. As soon as I learned that from him in a private class a couple years ago, never did anything else, right? If you're using an undershirt or something, gonna have to work around that, gonna have to think about it. You're gonna have to hit your belt buckle or hemline or your gun as far as your holster or something to grab a different index point on the garment. But you're going to sacrifice a little bit of speed and a little bit of consistency, in my opinion. It's a little harder to grab hemline than it is just to grab your belly button and snatch your shirt up. So definitely belly button. You know where your belly button's at. Boom! Snatch that thing. Snatch that garment. Pluck that garment up out of the way. Okay, everything we do is about pop now. Okay, Gabe White talks about this. Act like you just touched a hot stove. When you're doing work, when you're about to draw that thing and do something with it, even if you're just going to draw it and not going to press the trigger, we're going, okay? So, the Garmin hand. We got our index on where to do it. Now I want you to think about something. This is just a concept to think about. I want you to think about your garment hand always beating the gun hand. Okay, so when I go to get my gun and I'm going for raw speed, I'm going for that slick daddy, bow, going for it, I need my garment hand to beat my gun hand to it. Okay, otherwise both hands are flying towards the gun, and if I don't beat it, then I'm gonna end up with a handful of shirt and pistol at the same time. So that garment hand has to beat the gun hand. Then once I snatch pistol though, I'm dropping my garment like immediately, okay? And then that pluck out of the holster needs to beat the garment now. So it's all a race, right? So you're racing your hands to try to do these things and get them done. That's the way you're gonna build on this speed. Now at first, you don't have to worry about trying to do all this shit wide open. Just go 50% speed. I'm not gonna tell you to go slow. I'm just going to tell you to go 50% speed, okay? So we get that slow thing out of our head and we just work in percentages. Do your work, okay? Hit your marks, perfect reps, perfect reps, perfect reps. Then go to 75% speed. Then go to 100. Then go to 120, okay? And try it. See where the wheels fall off. Next thing, after we've plucked that gun, now what do we do? Okay, so what I like to teach is wrists to nipples. Both wrists come up to the nipple and then spiral on. This is just to start, just to make sure that you're coming to the right points and you're hitting your marks as you go along. Okay, and then we'll start melting all those edges together as we speed it up. After the wrists touch the nipples, just drop the garment, straight drop it. Put a little bit of gangster orientation on the pistol to offer some room. And then after we just drop the garment, we just grind that grip on, smash into it, grind it on, and spiral right up onto the target. So the gun goes from this orientation, spirals right up on, straight gun path. Find your index point, whether it's under the trigger guard, whether it's your actual finger, okay? You know, whatever you like, grind that grip on, grind that thing on, you know, adjust that gun in your hand as it's coming out. So, short gun path, a little bit of a circular motion, straight gun path, center line gun path, okay? Play with these things, it'll change your life. Not, don't shoot this gun.